Okay, watching a developing story this lunchtime, a protest at the final sitting of the Durban City Council in eThekwini. This is being led by members of the EFF. Councillors from that party are upset at the state of Durban beaches as we go into the December holidays, a major tourism period for KwaZulu-Natal, especially Durban. Watching that story for us is reporter Karinda Jagmohan, who's in council in the chambers. Karinda, tell us about the demands there, because I understand in the last while there have also been calls for a resignation at the highest level.
Indeed, there have been calls by the EFF today for the eThekwini mayor, Karinda, to resign. Those calls were also made by the DA earlier, but what is interesting is that there are also calls apparently within EXCO for the deputy mayor, Philani Mavundla, to leave his post as well. We've just had an interview now with Philani Mavundla that we'll share with you shortly. Remember, he is the president of the Abantu Bato Congress, and he was given, or his seat as the deputy mayor, his seat in EXCO was essentially sponsored by the ANC following the council meeting, the elective council meeting earlier this year. So what we see now is that there are calls then apparently by the ANC for Mavundla to leave that position. Mavundla says that he will then go to court if those calls continue. So very interesting developments here. At this point, the council meeting is still on an adjournment. The speaker and various party representatives are going into their own caucus meeting at this time to discuss what's happening. And you'll see around us, the DA has already left this meeting as well. They say that this meeting is actually illegal because it did not start on time and the relevant procedures were not followed as well. My colleagues Kongiseni Kubande and I will take you around the room actually, and we'll try and speak to some of those that are here, perhaps just get Action SA as well, that can give us some comment about what's happening. Remember, they have also been in this meeting for a long time. So I think let's also take our viewers to Action SA at this point. Sir, from Action SA, I mean, if you can just describe to us, Mr. Paruk, about what has developed here in terms of the calls for various EXCO members to resign.
It seems like they want to collapse the council for today, and therefore we were called into an urgent whip meeting, and we're trying to salvage this meeting today, but unfortunately we're waiting for the ruling to come out, then only we'll be in a much better position to convene the meeting after that. Thank you.
Just when we look at the infrastructure in Durban, it will also come to you as well. Going forward, this is supposed to be the final council meeting for the city. What was supposed to be the important measures discussed that could take the city forward?
There's a whole lot of host of things that has to be done, because now we are going to be waiting in the next week or so for all the tourism coming to our city. The beaches are not open yet. You got raw sea that is coming into the beaches, into our river. Action SA was the only party brought urgent application, and he's in court at the moment, and he sat down for the 27th of February. So, we're doing our utmost best to try and save the city and go forward from here, because there's so much is happening. This was the third best city in the world. Today, where we are.
Indeed. Let's bring in yourself.
Okay.
Sir, again, this meeting was disrupted essentially because the high-level politics that are at play. For you, what was the importance of taking this forward?
Okay, firstly, I must just add on a few important things. When we started off the meeting, the DA, the Democratic Alliance, brought in some issues of concern, which was still going to be deliberated and then taken forward. But when the meeting adjourned, basically the EFF had come out with some placards. I think it's gone all over social media, and to an extent, their concerns are about the issues of service delivery. My concerns are the same, service delivery. And I think the council itself, the eThekwini council, is very laxy-daisy about this issue of service delivery. And I certainly confer, it's not about party, favoritism as such, but they are standing point, though they may have approached this whole council meeting to this effect, but they are highly justified in bringing up the issue of service delivery, speedy service delivery, etc., which at the moment we have adjourned the meeting to an extent where we have suggested as party whips for the Speaker of the House and the whip to get into discussion and a dialogue with the EFF there are certain things they may want to propose, and perhaps we will come up with some kind of a resolution to what they really need and what they really want. When we are going to be called in again to rediscuss this, to convene the meeting or not.
Let's talk about the state of the city while I have you here. In your view, what is the urgent issues that need to be addressed?
You know,
sewage.
Of course, the sewage is a major issue, right? And especially we're heading towards the issue of the vacation that is coming in. And this is the pulse of eThekwini Municipality, the beaches. They are not in a proper, from whatever is being said, I don't think so. And I believe that the beaches are not in conformity to consumption of swimming, etc. Apart from that, we are going so backwards, and this is my opinion, and what we hear and what we see as councillors, that the roads are in a pathetic state. The water and sanitation, now we face to the electricity, issues where just all of a sudden the electricity is gone off. There are major issues in respect of service delivery to bring these issues into position, because the people out there are frustrated. They are paying, there are lots of loyal and very, very serious taxpayers, ratepayers. They want answers from us, and we unfortunately as council we can't give them answers because there is a hell of a backlog of whatever it is. Listen, we've passed the budget. The budget is passed. There are certain committees that are in place to take care of these issues. And service delivery is so pathetic. We are gone like 20 years, 50 years back. And we are not in agreement to whatever is going on, because we need to, and we are answerable to the public at the end of the day.
Thank you, sir, for your time.
You so much.
There we hear an interesting point is that some of the issues to be discussed at this point is the infrastructure, sewage. We're told that, of course, beaches are the pulse of the city of Durban, and around us, infrastructure issues like our roads as well. Some of the measures that councillors want to be addressed, they say they're not getting answers. Of course, this is the place where they're supposed to get answers, but eThekwini's final council meeting for the year disrupted because of the calls at this point for the mayor to resign, the calls for the deputy mayor also to leave his position at EXCO, sponsored by the ANC. And right now this meeting is at a halt. We'll wait for the speaker to return. Perhaps if we have just a few moments, we can quickly bring in the EFF as is here. Mr. Themba Mvubu, sir, we are live on Newzroom Africa. Please, you've called for the mayor to resign. Can you quickly summarize the importance of this and your calls today?
Yeah, can you just repeat the question? I was just distracted by your lights.
Sure. Can you tell us about your calls for the mayor to resign today at this meeting?
No, basically it's not only the mayor that we are taking issues with, but it's everyone else who is responsible for ensuring that the state of our infrastructure is well looked after. Especially since you know that there is this issue, big issue of sewer spillage that is happening in eThekwini. The festive season is upon us. We are not going to be enjoying maximally the tourist that usually comes and flock our city during this period. This mayor, about a week ago, if not two, embarked on a PR exercise in making us believe that everything was in order. The quantity of E. coli bacteria that is in the sea or in the beach was minimal to allow, or rather to say, it was not harmful in a sense. Only to discover a few days later that that's not true. We are really not ready to receive all the visitors. And also, yesterday we did an oversight at Durban beachfront. All those swimming pools that we grew up going to during the festive season, they are dry. There is nothing there. So we are not going to allow then the mayor and the leadership collective of the ANC to run down our city while we are here and folding our arms. We are not going to do this. Lastly, also, there is this issue of people that are still sheltered in community halls. There was a commitment which was made that come December, all of them are not going to be sheltered there. Now, this is the last council session. It's important to do these things today because all of us who are going to be spending Christmas holidays with our families, seated there comfortably, whereas those people are suffering. No one is going to remember them. Everyone is going to focus about them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Well, there you have the EFF speaking about their concerns. Another concern is brought up is that there are a number of people still living in community shelters who were displaced by the April floods and are still there despite a promise that they'd be moved out of these areas before Christmas happens, but this is not the case in many community halls. Nonetheless, those decisions were to be made at this council meeting today, and it's unclear exactly when it'll get underway or if it'll be adjourned before the end of the year. But at this point, this is where those important decisions were to be made, and many people have already left.
Karinda, Jagmohan, we'll come back to you later to see how that pans out eventually.